Good morning. Welcome to Rooted and Relevant. And I'm coming to you from Michigan and giving you a chance to see my dad's garden back there. And we had a wonderful time catching up with our dear friends at Faith Baptist Church last night and a chance to go see our newest grandbaby today. And I'll give you all of the details tomorrow, name and all of the weight and size and all of those good things. And so, but you can rejoice with us and a healthy baby and a healthy mama. And we're rejoicing in God's goodness. Well, I've entitled this one The Big Beautiful Bill. As you know, President Trump signed that into law on July 4th with great fanfare and excitement. I am very excited about the newfound patriotism in America and the excitement over getting things back to common sense, following a moral standard. We'll talk a little bit about that in the Big Beautiful Bill. And so I want to draw your attention to Psalm 139, starting in verse number 14. These are familiar verses. When the Bible says, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret, and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, or unfinished, or not quite complete, mature. And in thy book, all my members were written. In other words, God decided before my body was completely formed what color hair I would have, how tall I would be, and how my fingers would be, and my toes, and all of the details of my life. He had it all determined before I was completely matured, before I was completely developed. This reminds us that God is the one who gives life at conception in the mother's womb. God is in complete control of the population of the world. He knows exactly how many people, this nonsense that gets spread about by the liberals, that we're going to overpopulate the world and somehow that, we have to control birth rate in order to not overrun the earth is foolishness. It's just secular humanism that says man wants to control birth rate, and therefore he wants to be in control of whether or not they keep a baby or kill a baby. This is nonsense. It's murder. And God knows exactly what he's doing. He's in control. He writes the story. And so he knows every detail. When he gives life to a child in their mother's womb, he knows everything about them. It's already determined as they come to full maturity and their bodies are completely formed. God knew all of that ahead of time. The Bible says, which in continuance were fashioned when as yet there was none of them. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God, how great is the sum of them. Then he describes just how much God thinks about us. God thinks about us every day. And if you want to know how many thoughts God has towards us, the Bible says as many as the sands of the seashore. Not only does God think about us, he thinks a lot about us, and he thinks a lot about everyone every day, all the time. He is a magnificent, merciful, gracious, and loving God who is in control, and we can trust him. And so what a marvelous thing to be able to remember that God is the author of life, and he is the developmenter of every human being. And ultimately, he is in charge of the population of the world. Well, the one big beautiful bill, as President Trump loves to call it, defunded Planned Parenthood. And it is no secret, Planned Parenthood is the driver, and many times the financer of so many abortions, the killing of babies in their mother's womb, a time when they should feel safe and protected. They are being killed and slaughtered by the millions. We're so thankful that our president is putting an emphasis back on morality and an emphasis on God being the author and sustainer of life. And he has that right. And so they're defunding Planned Parenthood in this big, beautiful bill. There's no Medicaid funding for abortions, parental choice in education projects. There's an increased child tax credit, encouraging families to have children. And then it eliminates the marriage tax penalty. These are some of the priorities, and there is much, much more in that. I obviously could not take time in this morning devotional to cover everything that was in there, but those were some of the key components that Advance USA and other conservative think tanks were pushing, and the input that we were putting into this amazing bill and what was able to be accomplished. It's not perfect. There are things that we wish were different. Is going to be the case probably for every bill, just like most decisions that people make. There's probably a nuance of that decision that we may have done different if it was our decision to make. These bills contain a lot of things, and sometimes it's not what we would want, but there's many, many, many very, very good things in this bill that promotes morality, that promotes patriotism, that puts America first. I didn't even talk about the importance of keeping our borders secure, building our military, and being a military force to be reckoned with is important. Leading by strength is important. And so there's many, many things that were very good, and we can thank God for it, and that God was able to use this conservative majority to put some very moral and conservative priorities in place. And so I am thankful. I think patriotism is soaring. I'm thankful that the joining of our armed forces is at an all-time high. People are excited about defending America, about being a part of something that is very patriotic. We certainly have just come through our birthday and celebrated who we are as Americans, and that is one nation under God. We have been given our rights by God. He has been gracious. He has shed his grace on us. And so I hope that you're thrilled. I hope that you continue to pray for our president, our lawmakers. I pray for not only a continued moral and conservative agenda. I pray that these politicians will see their need of Christ, and that Christians will see the importance of presenting Christ to their politicians each and every day. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless.